What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 171 of the Nonsense Review. The only fact I could find is, guess what, Rick? I don't know if you know this or not, but 171 comes between the numbers 170 and 172.
Jesus Christ, is that what it says on Wikipedia?
It's got a bunch of stuff that it's the result of this formula and it's this type of number, but it's really nothing to go on.
I love how that's going to be one of the freaking top results for on the Wikipedia. It's the number that comes before the one before it. Oh, sorry, before the one after it and after the one before it.
Well, Rick, on Wikipedia, they have to give a description of every article, and the first description of every number is what two numbers it's between.
Sure, okay.
So it's not unique to this number, but I just thought I'd mention that, again, because I couldn't find anything interesting, this episode's going up on the 17th of June, which is the anniversary for the Watergate scandal break-in.
Oh, boy, the other thing of breaking waters. Yeah, Richard Nixon, the one president who just quit being a president by getting into a helicopter and flying away.
He quit, and then his replacement immediately pardoned him, probably because Nixon said, "I'll make you president if you pardon me."
Yeah. Just showing the stopping him becoming the Spider's George of presidency.
I mean,
before Trump.
I don't even know how many felony. I think he only got accused of a few things. I think technically it's one of those weird things where Nixon did something that they were all doing. He just happened to get caught.
Yeah.
But not to give him any fucking forgiveness. He was still a fucking scumbag.
Oh, yeah. It's a weird one where I think his actual platform that he ran on, which was Futurama condenses it as pro-family and pro-war, is not something that anyone would get elected on today. He had a bunch of reform going on. He was one of the first to introduce any form of real Medicaid.
I mean, I will have to take your word for it. I don't know nothing about his presidency. I just know he was a piece of shit.
I think he was also one of the only people to be vice president for both sides.
I couldn't tell you whether that's correct or not. So have fun at the comments directed at you saying you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy to, get my ass torn open by someone realizing, oh yeah, this is literally bollocks because they looked it up on Wikipedia in 5 seconds, which I can't do because my microphone is in the way of the keyboard. Okay,
so Rick's weird ranting aside, I'm Devon and this is Rick. We're doing a Jurassic Park thing.
Yeah. But this month is Pride Month and we're going to start with our good old Pick of the Rainbow. What have you got for me this week?
I wasn't expecting you to just take the reins from me, you bastard.
Well, I didn't want it to go any further without forgetting it.
I've got it in my notes. I've got my notes are effectively a bullet point script. But yeah, it's Pick of the Rainbow. Usually Rick gives his first, so I'm going to immediately reverse it and say, Rick, you go first, to not scare the people.
I've got Uno reversied. Okay, so today's theme is someone who's no longer with us, and I mentioned before we started recording that this one might be a little bit controversial. I'm going to go with Roy Horn, the animal handler from Siegfried and Roy.
Oh, right, yeah, cool. I didn't know either of them were confirmed to be gay. I thought it was just speculation.
Yeah, after they passed away, their close friends were able to confirm that they were partners both on and off screen.
Fair enough. It's something that was always speculated about because of their flamboyance on stage and their chemistry, but
and the fact that they live together.
Yeah, but dudes can just live with each other, man. I'm not saying one way or the other that just because you're two guys living in the same house doesn't mean you're gay.
Yeah.
And vice versa. There are many couples that don't live in the same house.
There's also the potential that they weren't partners for the entire time.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you, with that sort of relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of polygamy going on.
Yeah, and also keeping it together for the business side, even after the romantic side ends.
Sure, but also, yeah, I can see why you said this was controversial. Not because of the questionable status of their LGBT-ness, but because Rick knows I don't like zoos, and the only thing worse than a zoo is an animal person parading them and fucking... There's a reason why they got mauled on stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a... Roy's own personal theory is that because he was having a stroke at the time, the tiger dragged him off stage to safety and didn't know how to, do it with gentleness. And he defended this tiger until it died about 10 years later.
I don't think the tiger needed defending. The tiger acted like a fucking tiger, which, yes. It's one of those things, whenever people defend an animal going apeshit and acting like an animal, it's like, you don't need to defend that. The animal acted like an animal. That's a natural instinct. I didn't realise he was having a stroke at the time of the incident. I never watched the incident. I don't particularly care for animal attacks. I'd rather just not look. But you saying he had a stroke is very interesting, because that's... I could totally see a tiger or a lion or any predatory animal seeing someone having a stroke. Basically, you're completely fucking unable to move, more or less, when you're having one of those.
Yeah.
I could
Someone who they were afraid of and were trained by, essentially, and kept in line by their knowledge of how this person acts, suddenly becoming completely defenseless.
It's not even that. It's literally just the act of being... Like, you can take away all of the fucking, oh, they beat me, they do this, they do that, blah, blah, blah. Just the straight-up fact that if something displays prey instincts, a predator's switch turns on.
Yeah.
It's
like
why
if you run away from a cat, it chases you, is like what you said, wasn't it? Like the same with dogs, isn't it?
I don't know about dogs, because dogs are in this weird place because of how domesticated they've become. But with big cats, if you encounter one in the wild, you have to stand your ground and growl and fight, because if you run away, it immediately sees you as prey and it will hunt you down.
Yeah.
Obviously, it probably won't work against a lion or a tiger. I'm thinking of like pumas and mountain lions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of Siegfried and Roy, but it's got nothing to do with the fact that they're gay. It's got to do with the fact that they clearly mistreated animals.
Yeah, well, he passed away in 2020 from complications from COVID. He had his spine severed by the attack, as it were, but did a lot for conservation and awareness, which I think is kind of the least you could do when you're using those rare animals as your livelihood.
It's a real fucking kick in the teeth for anyone who thinks about it for more than 2 seconds, because everyone is the fucking same. They always raise awareness for conservation and this, and it's like, oh, what we're doing is actually good. And it's like, no, it's not. This is your crutch to try and justify the evils you're performing.
Fair, yep. So yeah, controversial one. Who's going to be your pick of the rainbow for this week?
He passed away only last year, and it still felt. I'm, of course, going to give it to one Paul O'Grady / Lily Savage.
Ah, yes. Yeah, he's sorely missed by a lot of his fans. I personally got more and more disillusioned with his show on Radio 2, but that doesn't take away anything from his ability to be an entertainer on the reg when he was, actually in the persona of Lily Savage, which I found a lot more entertaining than his normal human persona when he was just being Paul O'Grady.
Well, it's weird, because I never actually knew Lily Savage, apart from the fact that every time the Paul O'Grady show was on, my mum would go, oh, that's Lily Savage, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, because I was born in 1992.
Yeah, I used to just turn off Radio 2 whenever he came on the weekend, because all he'd talk about is people's dogs and God bless all the time, and it got a bit old.
I never listened to his radio show. I watched the Paul O'Grady show, which was essentially just a talk show, like everyone fucking has one. And yeah, it was a bit of crack. It was good. Like, the main thing I want to point out is that despite making it, as it were, in show business, he still very much kept his working class background in check. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
There's a lot of people who make it big and they immediately start fucking pretending they didn't fucking come up from the grassroots. And in this country, the real problem is you've got people who are working class all their life, they make it big, and then they immediately become a Tory scumbag.
Yeah, Jim Davidson.
Jim Davidson is the fucking worst offender, because his dad would be rolling in his fucking grave.
Yeah.
Jim Davidson, the person who doesn't fucking live in this country so he can pay less taxes.
Yep.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about him. We're talking about Paul O'Grady. Paul O'Grady is basically, like, it's hard to think of a negative thing to say about the man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Possibly the most famous drag queen in Britain.
At least English one.
Yes.
Like, I think Dame Edna might have him edged out, but they're Australian.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah, and obviously, for a big portion of his life, he was married to a woman and he had kids. I did a bit of digging, and it's hard to tell whether or not he he had a sexual awakening later in life, or if this was just something to do to... Because again, you got to bear in mind, Paul O'Grady, around in the 70s and 80s, not the kindest time to the gays.
No. You basically needed a beard at that time.
So, I don't want to harp on. Like, good guy. He championed a lot of, like, dog-based charities, which, if you want to be really nitpicky, it's like, help people first, but he also helped people, so there's really not much to complain about.
Yeah, totally.
So, that's our spotlight on the rainbow. Rick, the audience probably already knows this if they're familiar with us. That wasn't a stumbling block. If you're already familiar with the show, you know what we like to do before we get into the bulk of the review, is we like to talk about our weeks and the goings-on in the wide universe. So, Rick, what'd you do this week?
I did not a lot. What I did do is I started playing Pokemon Too Many Types. This is a ROM hack made for AlphaRad, and it adds a lot of types to the base game of Pokemon Emerald. For instance, my starter, Fennekin, is not only fire type, but a magic type and eventually a furry type.
Okay, Rick, I hate everything you're saying.
You've got your Slackoth is a boring stinky type, and then it evolves into an Angie stinky type.
Okay, so it's a meme game for memers, got it.
Yeah. Pichu is a little electric baby type.
Yeah,
and,
sure, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get me hype on this because the core premise I already hate.
Yeah. And like the basic types, like because there's so many types, the interactions are so massively different, and I'm pretty sure I'm never going to learn over 2/3 of them, but I'm having a decent bit of fun so far, and it's a nice way to shake things up without just reversing types that already exist.
Rick, just play fucking Digimon.
Yeah. And the other thing is that I've been I've finally reached Act 3 with my honor mode playthrough, and it's a little bit difficult playing in Act 3 when you're only level 9.
I mean, that's what level I tend to get to Act 3 at, and I don't play on that level of difficulty.
Sure. It's also a bit more difficult when any step could mean doom.
Yeah, but Rick, no offense, you know where everything is.
True enough.
Like, if you're walking at a snail's pace because you're like, any step can mean doom, it means, like, do you not internalize anything?
Okay, I know where things are. I don't know how difficult they are in Tactician plus difficulty.
Yeah, but you know they're there, so as long as you have enough, like, at the end of the day, you can bullshit stuff.
Just
have a Starion go invisible and stay back a little bit, and then just run away if things go bad, and then res everyone with rivers. Boom, done.
Yeah, cheese it with us, yeah. I've had to do that a fair few times.
I'm just saying, you're playing an honor mode run, but you're not playing honourably, so why'd you care?
Yeah, I'm playing the most dishonourable way. And the thing that I've seen in the wide universe is that Hidetaka Miyazaki is not allowed to talk about a Bloodborne PC port. He's not opposed to it, but he'd get in trouble if he says that he wants one.
I guess he must have signed a contract of some kind that stipulated he can't do that, but that's a weird story.
Yeah, other people can talk about it within FromSoft, but he can't.
I think he's just lying and saying that, like, listen, if I say something, it will influence people, so therefore I'm choosing not to. But what people took that to mean is, he can't talk about it because evil Sony being evil.
Yep, and not just a standard NDA. And The Acolyte has been out for a couple of weeks now. Are you up to date?
No, I haven't started watching it. Unlike you, my homework is 3 hours long. Yours is 20 minutes.
Sure. But yes, I've had a very light week. How about you? How's your week been? What have you seen in the wide world?
I've been getting more in-depth in Rogue Trader, but I'll talk about that once I've actually done more. So let's go to news, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty, so first things first, Rick. I wasn't very well off growing up, Rick. Never had Sky.
Sure. Oh, yeah, Rishi Sunak, yeah.
So here's the thing, Rick, is I actually didn't have... I wasn't well off growing up. In fact, I'd say I was actively on the poor end of things. We had Sky.
Yeah.
Because the thing that Rishi doesn't seem to realise is Sky, back in the day when it first came... By the way, Rishi Sunak was 7 when Sky came out.
Yeah.
I looked it up because I'm that petty. Sky, when it came out, was actually something that people who were well off didn't want, because to get it, you needed a satellite dish installed, and that ruined the look of their fancy house.
Yep.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up is actual poor people could get Sky quite easily, because we all knew a dodgy fucker who could get you a box for 20 quid.
Yeah. Yeah, you did the trial where you got the dish and you paid for it for a month, and then you said, nah, I don't want it. And then they wouldn't take the dish off you because they weren't that petty. And then, yeah, you got the dodgy guy to hack your box.
Yeah, that's how you get it. That's how come for a period of time, we were able to watch New Simpsons as they came out.
Yeah.
But it was only in one room.
Oh, yes, totally. Sky Multi-Room later on was basically you have 2 Sky connections and that's what you pay for. So you get a second Sky box somewhere else in the house.
Yeah, I remember my mind was blown because we had this little device that I couldn't tell you how the fuck it worked, but you plugged it into the 2 TVs, one in the living room and one in the dining room, and it would just broadcast it would just show and play what was happening on the other TV. It was basically sorcery.
Yes, the Skybox repeater. We had one of these at a friend of mine's house, and when I was staying over one time, we changed it to the Mucky channel. And
I know this is where this was going, Rick, because you fucking you started doing the fucking lecherous secret whisper voice.
His parents knew because they had the repeater going to their room.
Fair enough. But yeah, all I'm saying is Rishi Sunak is a fucking liar, and even if he isn't, big whoop, having a Skybox didn't mean you were poor.
Yeah, absolutely.
He managed to go to private school that cost X amount of pounds every fucking year. Who's a real poor person?
Yeah.
Don't get
me...
Gone.
We were, because we spent that much on the private school and couldn't afford anything else.
You went to private school?
Yeah.
Okay, very different upbringing, Rick.
Yeah, we didn't have anything else, pretty much.
I'm just saying, man, like, I'm not endorsing Keir Starmer by any degrees, but Rishi Sunak, stop being a fucking liar, because it's not helping your case.
Yeah.
Homelander finally came out for Mortal Kombat 1.
Ah, sweet. Is he any good?
I don't fucking know. I've stopped playing that game. It was 100 gigabytes,
Sure.
Rick. It can fuck off.
Yep.
I also wasn't able to pay for the DLC. Like, it was too much for me. But I did look up his dialogues, and his intros with Omni-Man are the best.
Sweet.
One of them has Homelander breaking down, just going, "You should really hug your son, because you never know." And Omni-Man just cuts him off, saying, "You're fucking with the wrong person."
Yep.
They didn't get the actual actor for Homelander. It was a sound-alike, but the sound-alike fucking nails it.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I'll always... In fact, yeah, now that I know that it's out, I'll look it up, because watching J.K. Simmons smack talk more people is always more fun.
Oh, absolutely. Dragon Age had a name change to Veilguard, and then we got a couple trailers. Have you seen anything?
I've seen that Varric doesn't look a lot like Varric, and I've seen someone who may or may not be the Inquisitor with a dodgy metal arm.
Well, here's the thing. I've watched both trailers. The first trailer came out, it was a teaser/cinematic trailer, and I was very unimpressed. I even messaged you afterwards saying I'm going to have to wait for the gameplay trailer. Gameplay trailer came out, it was 20 minutes of just gameplay from the beginning of the game, and it looks better in engine than the cinematic did.
Cool.
It looks good. The dialogue feels like fucking Dragon Age dialogue. It's a bit silly. They brought back the symbols that tell you what tone your character's going to... they're using the symbols from Dragon Age 2 for the tone indicator for how you're going to say things.
Yeah, Saint, silly, and hard ass.
Yeah. It's no longer Dragon Age. They've very much shifted gears into... and by that I mean gameplay-wise, the actual combat. They shifted into very clearly an action RPG fighting style.
Yeah, I'm not against that, because they were kind of heading that way anyway, to a degree.
Yeah, but like, it's one of those where it looks like it plays fine, but it's really hard to tell how it feels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Here's the thing, is the important point about Dragon Age for me is, does it feel like Dragon Age story-wise? And Varric is acting like Varric, even if he doesn't look much like Varric. As soon as Varric started talking, I went, yeah, that's Varric. But just looking at him, it's like, why has he got black hair now, and why did he grow a beard?
Yeah, the black hair is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I'm like, did he dye his hair before? Is he dyeing his hair now? Is this meant to be some kind of trick so he can get close to Solus? And he gets up to Solus and then immediately reveals himself, so what's the fucking point if that's the case?
Yeah, I don't know.
Minrathous looks cool.
Yeah, I'm I'm excited to explore Minas Tirith.
It's very much a magic city.
Yes.
They make that clear from the get-go, and I'm like, geez, this is really fucking nothing like we've seen before. Quite literally. Even the Minrathis in Dragon Age Absolution didn't look like this.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we were actually in Minrathis in Absolution, were we? I think it was just Tevinter.
Yeah, I think it was like a border city in Tevinter.
But yeah, there's rumours that both your Grey Warden, your Hawk, and your Inquisitor will show up in this game, but I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that.
Yeah, the Grey Warden in particular is a difficult one to do because you're going to have to like completely recreate them from scratch. Like at least Hawk, you can kind of import something from Inquisition.
Not really, dude, because again, Inquisition came out on the 4, this is the 5. Maybe if you're
Yeah,
playing on the PC, they can do something, but...
It's going to be easy. It's going to be easier just to recreate all 3.
And I'll tell you this as well, is like, I think some people have forgotten, but Dragon Age Inquisition handled it so poorly, I don't want to have a repeat of that.
Yeah.
Like, they had the tapestry system, for those who were unfamiliar, and it was shit.
It was a bit, but it was better to go through that than to have to replay the entire game again just to get a perfect world state to import.
But you couldn't do that because it was cross-console generations, Rick. You had to use the tapestry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, that's the problem. And the tapestry was a fine concept, but it was so... They cut out so many nuances. It was very obvious which choices mattered and which ones didn't.
Yeah, and they put a weird amount of focus on choices that didn't seem to matter in any way. Like, did you spare this dwarf from this one quest line that doesn't matter?
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, what you're referring to, so go on.
No, it was just, there was a dwarf called Marin, and did you spare him?
Yeah, and what did that matter? What did it do?
It didn't. It didn't at all. So, but they gave it the same amount of... focus as what did you do with Morrigan? Did you stab her? Did you follow her into the Alluvion?
I don't remember them having choices that didn't matter in the tapestry. I remember it only having the big ones.
Sure, but yeah, that's the kind of little choice that they had in there.
But again, I don't remember them having that. I think we might be conflating games.
Sure.
I think you wanted them to have that and they didn't, but you think they put it in because now you're like, that's silly.
No, there was. It was a male dwarf in Dragon Age 2 who like didn't matter at all, and yeah, that was one of the choices on the tapestry.
If you say so, man. I don't remember, so I'm not gonna... fuck it, I abstain. In other video game news, Rick, Kingdom Hearts is now available on Steam. You should buy it and play it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I've never played it.
I know, this is why I'm telling you should. You've got no excuse now.
And literally, this exact moment, I got a message from another friend who's posted a Humble Bundle link to Kingdom Hearts.
Well then.
Like literally... like 2 minutes ago.
Maybe you should buy Kingdom Hearts and play it, and then we could do a retro on it.
Yeah, maybe so.
If you guys are wondering why I've not done a retro on Kingdom Hearts, it's because Rick never played the fucking thing.
No.
That being said, it's a game from like 2001, I want to say. It does not play the best. They've done their best to update the gameplay along with the graphics, but it still takes a minute to get used to.
Yeah. Like, I played games in 2001. I'm pretty sure I can get away with some things, and then I go back to PSO1, I'm like, oh man, yeah, this was clunky.
Kingdom Hearts 1 is the worst. They fix a lot in Kingdom Hearts 2, but you gotta play Kingdom Hearts 1. It's got so many memes.
And also Sephiroth is hard.
Sephiroth is hard in all 3 games. 2 games. I don't think he shows up in 3. No fucking Final Fantasy characters show up in 3. It really disappointed me.
Nothing Square is in 3, that's the whole point.
Well, there's plenty of Square bullshit, just none of the Square characters. Anyway,
yes, Square bullshit only, and then it's mono Disney for all the characters. Yeah.
Annecy happened, which is some sort of show. Either way, it announced a few new cartoons. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is getting a fucking new show.
Oh, sweet.
Craig McCracken's heading it up. It's Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends. This seems to be explicitly geared towards little children.
Right, okay.
So, an even younger audience than original Foster's. So, I probably will be giving this a miss. But hey, good for him getting a new show.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Adventure Time has had 5 cartoons announced.
Oh, okay.
But like unnamed projects. Scooby-Doo's getting a new fucking spin-off, which fine. Last but not least, because it's sort of relevant to the podcast, there is an untitled regular show project in the works by J.G. Quintel.
Sweet.
All we've been told is
nice
that it's a new
happens.
series and it's going to be called Regular Show something.
Okay.
So apparently it's entirely new, but will feature some characters from the original series. They've not mentioned if Mordecai and Rigby are coming back.
Sure,
But,
Benson's Chronicles.
I mean, maybe. Again, it's not a lot to go on because it is just an announcement. So, whereas with the Adventure Time, fucking Foster's thing, there was a little clip to go with it and some screenshots. So, the art style is dramatically different in that, we know, etc.
Sure.
But yes, that does it for my news, if you could call it that. So, today we're doing something on Netflix. It's an animation called Jurassic World Chaos Theory, and I'm not the biggest fan of Jurassic Park. Rick knows this.
Yeah, I've liked Jurassic Park since it was new, because dinosaurs were not in vogue until Jurassic Park. Nowadays, if you're growing up as a child, dinosaurs exist, and you know what dinosaurs are. When I was growing up, these were new and interesting.
As you say, I remember watching the original Jurassic Park, but I don't remember caring, so...
Sure, yeah, it wasn't earth-shattering because it wasn't new.
I mean, it wasn't earth-shattering anyway, because the BBC had Walking with Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, that was years later, but yeah.
Yeah, but Rick, I'm years younger than you!
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm throwing it to Rick to do the intro for the episode.
Jurassic World Chaos Theory, Episode 1, Aftershock, on Netflix. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Man, it's been a while since we've heard of Netflix. Da-dum.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time since I've heard one.
Can always tell when there's boring credits happening because we don't say a fucking word.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the John Williams soundtrack.
Well,
now it gets subverted by a completely new one.
I need to turn this way the fuck down. God damn. Did they just shoot the T-Rex with a rocket launcher?
Apparently.
Is the thing a rocket launcher would kill a T-Rex?
Yeah, it should. I
Not...
think the only reason it doesn't is because the T-Rex is working on RPG mechanics.
Yeah, for real, it's not fucking Godzilla.
Yeah, it's a giant chicken.
That we're on Route 693, which I bet is a reference to something.
Hmm. Too real.
Wow.
You can anti-dinosaur Alex Jones.
I wasn't expecting...
giant dinosaur shit.
I wasn't expecting someone to literally be fucking... We need to get rid of the Mexicans, but dinosaurs. Because it's a bad allegory. Because dinosaurs are a problem.
Yeah, dinosaurs are a problem. They do pterodactyls, which technically aren't dinosaurs, but definitely dinosaur type, can just swoop down and take you.
I wouldn't want to live in a world where dinosaurs still walk the earth. Just straight up.
Yeah, humans not being apex is existential horror that we have done our best to eradicate. That is why there's no wolves in Scotland.
Well, they want to fucking reintroduce wolves and bears to England, and it's just why? They're gone.
Yeah, we got rid of them for a reason.
Beavers, yeah, sure, fuck it, they're fine. But fucking wolves and bears, no.
Oh, beavers are a menace as well.
Yeah, but they're kept in fucking specific places where their dams are useful.
Okay.
I told you the news story when we introduced a beaver and you were super hype.
Fair enough.
And now you've gone... I wasn't expecting this 180 discourse on beavers today.
Beaver 180. Yeah, that's the thing. The herbivores are almost completely peaceful, except when they're defending their territory.
Yeah, but I bet you this show ain't gonna fucking bring that up.
Yeah. And now he spooked it.
Well, it was already spooked, but now it sees him as an aggressor.
Oh, I thought they were just gonna ram it.
Are we meant to know who this character is?
I don't know. I don't think so. Unless it's from a previous show.
Well, they gave him the hero entry, so he's obviously going to solve the problem, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you give someone with such lackluster trigger discipline a gun?
It's America.
I guess that is the answer. But Americans are meant to... they're meant to have gun safety more than most countries.
Okay, meant to.
Okay, you get my point, Rick. We're watching a show, a fictionalized version of the universe, where everything's meant to go right.
Yeah. Except when it has to go wrong for, not comedic purposes, dramatic purposes.
Let me give you the fruit that you were going to eat
apple.
anyway. That VA sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know why. Course. It's always a fucking thorn in the hoof.
Yeah, Androcles' lion.
I hope they show a shot of them picking that up and taking that away with them when they leave.
Yeah, because otherwise it's the same problem again, just 20 minutes into the future.
Like, yeah, for real. Look at this fucking...
I know that voice.
I was going to say, like, they look like, and they don't sound like, which is what's bothering me. They look like Seth fucking Green.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look, it's the dinosaur that was the focus of Walking with Dinosaurs.
Ah, yes, the Allosaurus.
They called it Big Al.
Yeah. Watch him get trampled.
It's a kid's show, I doubt it. Well, there's probably a predator nearby.
Yeah, he's rolling. He's rolling his perception.
Yeah, okay, so this is from a previous series that we didn't watch.
Okay.
Well, it has
so
to
he's
be,
got
right?
PTSD from this one-eyed Allosaurus.
Is that an Allosaurus? It's hard to tell.
Probably. It's a bit littler than a big old T-Rex. It's got the V on its head and everything, so...
Yeah, but I thought Allosauruses were bigger than that. What are the chances that the exact dinosaur he's hunting happens to show up?
Well, it's fiction, so 100%.
Oh, I hate it. I hate that you're right. Like, that is the actual answer, and it bothers me.
And so the cat has been caught by the very person trying to catch him. How ironic.
It's odd that he's trying to catch it and not trying to kill it.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of focus on his groceries as well. I don't know why.
Oh, because he wasn't meant to be here and he took a detour or some bollocks. He's actually meant to be a responsible adult and is helping someone else, but decided to do this instead or some bollocks. He's got to be cool to the kids. He's got to be showing respect to his elders while at the same time being just enough rebellious to be, acceptable to society.
Yeah, he's got to be bringing eggs for Grandma. And that's why you don't fire straight up.
I mean, it was tranquilizers at the end of the day. It wouldn't have mattered that much. Give me my gun back, bitch! Here's an Allosaurus. Well done, Rick.
Yeah, he's got a car. He can just run into it.
He's already shown that he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah. I like the detail that they got all the dirt on the windscreen.
Yeah, it is unusual for an animated show, isn't it?
Yeah, to have things being, believably dirty.
Plenty of people leave messages. It really bugs me that this is a thing in media. Everyone from a generation anyone younger than us, basically, Rick, is meant to, in every single piece of fiction, is like, no one leaves messages, old man, haha, text me, bye!
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. The only person that ever leaves messages is my dad.
I mean, to be fair...
that's because he's from office culture where, he was the first person I knew to have a mobile phone. Where, they actually would answer their voicemails. But for anyone else, it's a case of, oh, well, you rang me. If you want to talk to me, then I'll just ring you back.
Don't get me wrong, that's how I treat it as well. If it's a conversation that has to happen, as in, this requires a phone call, I will phone someone. If they don't answer, fine, fuck it. Because if it only needed to be a text, it would have been a text in the first place, don't get me wrong. But I can't stand people, I can't stand the stereotype of everyone's answering phone message from a certain generation in shows is, no one text messages, text me, bye. It's so condescending.
Okay, bye.
Because you don't take care of your vehicle. Knew that was coming.
Yep. Otherwise, they wouldn't have kept focus on the flat wheel. Megalo Munch. Is he going to do the kid thing?
This has been a thing in every show since, Simpsons, and that was 30 years ago, I'm just going to squirt this squirty food straight in my mouth.
Yeah, until it comes out of my nose.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah, that one, that's even worse, it's squirty cheese.
I mean, I kind of assumed it was squirty cheese, because we're in America. It can't be a good meal, just squirty cheese on its own. I don't even like eating regular cheese on its own.
I do, but it has to be the right cheese.
Yeah, when I say regular cheese, I mean cheddar.
Yeah, and even then, it's better with a cracker for a separate mouthfeel at the same time.
Right,
or toast.
You need something bland to go with your cheese.
Yeah. Well, that's how some people just deal with their email inboxes.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, so that's what Camp Cretaceous was, I assume, or something.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I know that voice as well.
Technically, they were envenomed.
Yeah?
I want it to cut to all of them fucking facing their traumas of just being like, fuck, I've managed to face down dinosaurs, but now I need to flip 5 burgers before break.
Yeah, we fought dinosaurs, but now I have to contend with the inevitable heat death of a universe.
Well, like changing the subject perhaps a bit too extreme, it still makes me fucking laugh that the Taliban now run a country, and you've got all of these infidel fighters who are fucking sick and tired of having to work office jobs because now they have to pretend to be a real country. Not real country, a real government for a country, as opposed to freedom fighters. I'm using air quotes for that.
Yeah. Well, because the Taliban were the
I don't want
quote-unquote legitimate government before that as well.
Yeah, but like, let's not get into that political shit show, because the Russians and the Americans both did bullshit over there. But
yes.
And let's be honest, the Taliban are religious extremists, so therefore fuck them.
Yes.
I was just saying that one particular example of going from freedom fighter to now I have to work a 9 to 5 in the office is just such a funny juxtaposition to me.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking long ago did that happen?
Yeah, long enough for them to have, like, doubled in age and size. Is Yumulak.
Who's Yumulak?
It's the young boy from Solar Opposites.
Okay. Yeah, I hears it.
As in the male child, yeah.
You say male.
Okay, the male-coded child.
Yeah, no.
Because they choose their gender.
I know, it's just such a weird fucking thing with that alien species.
Yeah, they just choose a gender identity at essentially puberty.
It's so pointless, though, because the genders are all the same, so what's the point in choosing?
Yeah.
What? I guess this would have been obvious if you watched the previous series.
Yeah, apparently. It was trying to protect her.
Fuck me, Jesus Christ, could you just fucking let him talk? Innit? Like, in universe, for fuck's sake, he keeps cutting him off every time he's about to say the fucking important bit of information.
Hmm. like actual dark web.
I'm immediately fucking not amused by the fact you have to rely on conspiracy theory for things to make sense.
Hmm.
Oh, so y'all are just crazy then. Good question. It's the most dangerous game of all.
Man.
That was
someone else.
That was so silly looking.
It's going to be someone else over with an action figure or something. Okay, not an action figure.
Well, it's a quote-unquote velociraptor. Did it just... eyes just glow red? When we say velociraptor, we mean Jurassic Park velociraptor. Obviously, we know they're not actual velociraptors.
Which I think is a Utah raptor.
Oh, I don't fucking care.
Or a dromaeosaur. No, the Utah raptor's massive. Yeah, it's a dromaeosaur.
Hey man, you can say what you want and I will just believe you. Look at that Telltale choice screen that just happened.
Yeah. Which I think there was a Telltale Jurassic Park game as well, wasn't there?
There was. That and Back to the Future were both games they did before Walking Dead took off.
Yeah.
I never played them, obviously. I don't care about this or... not this specifically. Jurassic Park or Back to the Future.
Apparently the Batman one was actually pretty good as well.
The Batman one was okay. It's got some weird plot points they decided to make, and it made no real sense. And is that going to be the end of the episode? Because that seems like a cliffhanger to me. Yep.
Yep, that's the end.
Oh, fuck me. A minute and a half of fucking credits. Oh, look at that. John Williams did do the fucking score. Or rather, they're using the John Williams score for the animation. But yeah, it's one of those where... I went into this beforehand. I can't remember if I said this on air or if it was before we started recording, Rick, where I don't really care about Jurassic Park, so this was always going to be an uphill battle for it.
Yeah. But hey, DreamWorks.
I mean, yeah, I agreed to do it, Rick. If I thought there was nothing to it, I would have said, fuck off. I've done it for other shows that are better than this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a lot of the time the reason for that is that you want to watch it yourself, though.
Usually it is, yeah. But that's fine, because it was a good show and we both end up watching it in our own times and we can just do a retro on it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty
like
of
Invincible,
shows.
Like, I don't think any of us have watched Invincible.
No, it really is on my to-do list and that just keeps getting further and further away. It's just like... They finished season 2 for a while now and it's just like there's so much content, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can be arsed.
Yeah. That said, it's a good thing to, have more to watch if you do get hooked, so...
This is absolutely true. There's very few things worse than binging a series and then being like, so now what?
Especially one that's underway and you get to where time is and you're like, oh shit.
But yeah, that's the end of the credits, both domestic and foreign. So yeah, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Rick, what do you think?
I'm sure if I had watched the original, I'd have been a little bit more up on the lore. I think I in particular, well, no, not I in particular, I think viewers suffer by not having watched Camp Cretaceous and not knowing who these characters are at all. Like, you even said, we meant to know who this is when Darius showed up, and, we are meant to know who he is, because this is a sequel series.
I didn't know going in this was a sequel series, so that also didn't help.
Yeah, me either. How about you? What do you think?
Shit. Nah, I mean, for what it was, for its target audience and for all intents and purposes, I'm sure it was fine. I don't care about Jurassic Park. I don't know why dinosaurs are just loose in general populace. I don't know anything about the main 6, of which apparently 1 got killed either on screen or off. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know enough about what's going on, and I got to be honest with you, it's a problem. And I understand why I don't understand what's going on. It's because, again, this is a sequel series. I didn't know that, you didn't know that, and you're the fucker who suggested it.
Yeah. I saw that it was new, and I thought, okay, yeah, cool. We'll have a look at this because it's new and it's not the one that we already said we weren't going to do.
I can't even remember which one
and
we said.
And it turns out it is the one that we said we weren't going to do.
Oh right, okay, sure. Yeah, it's one of those. Like, the animation was fine, the voice acting was fine, the plot was even fine. It's just this is the first episode of a new series set at least several years in the future. You got to re-establish your characters a bit better than this, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is, I totally get it. It's a sequel series. It's assumed you know everything from the prior series, but for people just coming in, it's just not up to snuff.
Yeah.
But hey ho diddly do. Let's get down to our regular wind down, shall we? Rick, do you have a favourite moment?
Well, I melted the very moment I heard the original Jurassic Park soundtrack kick in at the beginning, and maybe that's rather telling that I didn't really have a favourite moment from the show. It was just the nostalgia of Jurassic Park in general coming through the music at the beginning.
A more damning statement you cannot make.
How about you? Do you have a favourite moment?
Honestly, I think my favourite moment was the shadow of the Velociraptor in the window, just because
it looked goofy.
It looked so goofy and dumb, and I feel like it was meant as an homage to the original Jurassic Park, especially the way it jumped through the window. But it just... I enjoyed it because it looked silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't only talk about the good, as limited as that was. Rick, do you have a weakest link?
The weakest link is that it was, basically that I hadn't watched the original and that I didn't get any of the references. Like, the only reference I really get is, why dinosaurs are out in the world, and it's because of the aftermath of one of the Chris Pratt movies.
Which I've also not seen, because fuck off.
Yeah, and in the sequel to that, they basically don't touch on why, like how the world is dealing with dinosaurs very much, because they just go to an island anyway.
But there's only one solution to if dinosaurs suddenly just sprung back up, and that is kill all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, you got dinosaur hunters. All these gun nuts are now suddenly in high demand.
Yeah, and if a few of them perish along the way, no big loss.
Yeah.
But for real though, like, the logistics of having dinosaurs come back in this fashion as well also don't make a lot of sense, because they would almost immediately get wiped out by probably 1 famine and 2 disease.
Yeah, and 3 cats.
Why cats?
Because cats are nature's perfect killers, and...
Oh yeah, I'd like to see a cat take down a T-Rex, Rick.
Pay to see that. So that was my weakest link. What was going to be your weakest link?
My weakest link is that, perhaps it would be more obvious to others, but to me it was very not apparent this was a sequel series going in, and the first inkling, at least, was quite early on, where it's just like, here's this character showing up with the heroic entrance, and it's like, as you say, I pointed out, are we meant to know who this is? And the answer is, yes, you are. You're meant to have watched the previous series, perhaps even the Chris Pratt movies, and I haven't done any of that, and I suffered for it.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know about you, Rick, but, like, again, there wasn't anything about it being a sequel in the description, was there?
Not that I could tell. Not that I could tell at all, but, maybe that's just me failing a perception check.
There is a good possibility that we're both just idiots, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But from my point of view, there was no indication until we started watching it that it was a sequel series, and anyone else who made the same mistake is likely going to be just as lost as we were.
Yeah, totally.
But yes, let's end on a highlight. Rick, do you have an MVP today?
I'm going to go with... well, just DreamWorks in general, but like specifically the animation team, because other than the dinosaur animations themselves looking a bit goofy, the general graphics of the world felt so believable. Like like I even pointed out, like it's rare to see the detail that you get on like the car of like a dirty windscreen, and like I just completely ignored the backgrounds because they just felt so natural. So good job on those, really.
I'm with you on up until one point, and that is the dinosaur animation was more than fine. It was one specific example that was jank, and again, I feel like it was jank on purpose as a nod to the OG film.
Yeah, sure. Fair enough. But yeah, I guess part of it was also they were trying to exaggerate a lot of the animations in ways that we would understand. So like if a dinosaur is acting all sheepish, then that's just the way that a dog would behave, and we understand how dogs behave.
Sure.
But yeah, do you have an MVP?
I mean, it's pretty much the same for the same reasons. I think the animation was incredibly competent. It was all
Yes.
very smooth. There was very rarely any stuttering. And apart from one specific example that, again, has the massive asterisk of we're 95% sure this is a reference, it was very competent. But then again, it is DreamWorks, and DreamWorks does animation reasonably well. And anyone who says otherwise is probably a fanboy of another animation company.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think DreamWorks don't do things well, then your head's in the sand.
Yeah, like, I don't like Minions, but to say Illumination isn't good at animation would be ludicrous.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But yeah, that brings us to a close today. That was Jurassic Park bullshit number 5. What was it called, Rick?
Jurassic World Chaos Theory.
Yeah, I'm the only thing I'm curious is why the fuck is it called that, which I'm sure will be explained as the series progresses.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just Camp Cretaceous, the sequel, and really, like, label your shit better.
Is Chaos Theory an anagram of Cretaceous somehow? I don't think so, because I don't think there's a H in it.
No, there's only one C as well.
Yeah, never mind. Fuck that theory. Anyway, thanks for joining us as always, guys. We've got the comment section down below on YouTube if you've got suggestions, plus want to tell us off for not liking the thing. Alternatively, we've got the email at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And next week, we're taking another dip into animation on the indie side of things, provided neither of us get ill.
Yep. Looking forward to it. See you later, everybody.